1,000 metre champion under 20 and set a blistering 7:52 for 3,000 metres on the track. There's lots in there, and they're all getting ready. They're about to start. We're literally 30 seconds away from a start. The 2021 UTAS Burnie 10.
4, 3, 2,
and away nice and comfortably. 500 people, not much to worry about. You can see a few just getting out wide. They're looking for a clean run, and we're just getting a bit of footage here, and which is fantastic innovation this year now of the lead women. So we've got Izzy Bat-Doyle there, Caitlyn Adams from South Australia. They're sitting alongside each other. Probably going to be a real match race, you'd think, between those two. Look, Millie Clark, I definitely saw her warming up. She's in there as well. Not to be discounted, of course, the 2016 Olympian, 18th in that race. Fantastic performance that was. But those three really are the ones. And we just saw a couple of Tasmanians. Grant Page back there with Nathan Morey there running alongside the girls. They know what those girls can run, and they're probably, if anything, helping them out a little. Grant Page, just 8 times the fastest Tasmanian in this field. He's now 39 years of age, but still running exceptionally well. And fantastic athlete, Grant Page.
Look, over the last 20 years, certainly been Tasmania's premier middle distance runner. In amongst that, we have some other people, but for longevity and consistency, Grant has been an outstanding Tasmanian athlete.
James Hansen, the Tasmanian of the serious contenders, looking quite comfortable. A recent health scare early in the year was hospitalised, and some real fears of not being able to run again. So great to see James back out there.
Oh, James is a great athlete. Only last year we saw him run 3:38, I think it was, for 1,500. So we know just how fit and strong James is. He's been competing now for 10 to 12 years. Got a lot of endurance in his legs. Probably just starting now the last year or two to go out to the longer distances, the 5,000s and 10,000. And he is a very strong athlete.
Now, an athlete, again, we'll talk about two things. We've got Doug out in front. I think it's clearly obvious Doug is going for that $500. But the runner's just surging a little bit there. That's Max Stevens,
yes,
the 3,000 metre steeplechaser from South Australia. Now, an interesting story for Max. Certainly was looking like he could have made the Olympic team. Suffered a few injuries, a few setbacks, but did the real teammate thing and helped his fellow training partner, Millie Clark, with multiple attempts at the qualifier, and got him the qualifier before the Olympics and got him on the team. So a selfless athlete, Max Stevens, and he's leading this main pack at the moment. James, big and strong, that 1,500 metre strength there, but again, Ryan Gregson sitting in behind another 1,500 metre runner, but probably a little bit more range than James, has shown, again, winning this race back in 2008. But James, look, he still looks okay, looks comfortable. I don't think this pace is hurting any of these guys at the moment.
Also, one of the distance guys there, I think they would want to make a break at some stage. They don't want Ryan Gregson around with 200 or 300 metres to go, because we know he's got that leg speed at the end.
He's definitely got some gears going, hasn't he?
It doesn't look like it's so fast that it's going to cook Ryan. It's not that quick.
Are we seeing something right now? Jack Bruce, the big, tall Queenslander. That looks like maybe a couple of strides. Ryan Gregson, again, may have been aware of this tactic, because they do train under the same coach in Nick Badeau in the Melbourne Track Club, of course, based in Queensland, but certainly following Nick's fantastic coaching and advice. But they look like they're just putting some sting into the race, trying to maybe just work out what these other 6 there have got.
And Millie Clark, we don't expect her to be a real force. She's coming off an injury, and certainly in preparation for next year's World Championships in Eugene and Commonwealth Games maybe. So she's preparing for a marathon. She hasn't got the leg speed of these girls, but we know how tough and how good Millie is.
Geez, it's still a good pack there, 6 boys in. How good's Nick Earl going? He's hanging on, gritting his teeth, isn't he? Caitlyn Adams it is, who's got 1 or 2 metres there as well on Izzy Bat-Doyle. So
I'm pretty certain way back there, I can see her probably about 20 metres behind. There's a male
Millie
athlete,
Clark.
then Millie Clark. So Millie is still being very competitive, and you know Millie probably better than anyone, Richard. She is just building herself back to that peak fitness.
Here's a huge move. I'm going to jump out of the commentary spot, give back to Gunner to call them home, and go and greet them over at the finish line.
Thanks very much, Richard. So we are really into the business end of this race. We're about to get into when the big move's already been made, Mike. It's been made by Caitlyn Adams, as we're seeing in the main footage. Now, don't be confused. The runner just behind Caitlyn, that's Patrick Smith. He's leading the 5,000.
Yeah, both those boys knew they had to put that 30 or 40 metres into Ryan Gregson. They knew that back at 1.5 Ks to go, and they've done that. Ryan's a great athlete. But they actually put the move up the hill where their endurance and strength, and they dropped Ryan on that hill. But Ryan's a great athlete. He'll try and run them down here. It's going to be downhill, tailwind. Jack Bruce looks good, and I've got to say, Isaac Hayne doesn't look so good.
Be Ryan Gregson's race. It's going to be one of these two. It's
Isaac Hayne.
Wow.
Wow, how good's that? By about 2 metres.
2 wins in Tasmania in 2021 to Isaac Hayne from South Australia. 29.25, perhaps it might have been unofficially as across the line. So they really got going in that last couple of kilometres. Fantastic victory to the youngster from South Australia. A big scalp in Jack Bruce from Queensland.
Oh, absolutely.
And you can see what it means to him there. He's quite exhausted. That climb up the hill has hurt him, and his form was all over the place.
Oh, absolutely.
But the fight was there.
He was tough. Emil was at a peck. He was so strong.
Yeah, and there's his fellow South Australian Max Stevens saying, well done, mate. A fantastic victory. And one to watch, Isaac Hayne. There's a lot of good juniors coming through at the moment.
Oh, yes.
And he's certainly one of them. But
Nick Earl come in 4th or 5th there, which is good to see.
Maybe almost under 30 minutes. So fantastic run for Nick. 29.34 PB. But remember, he's 37 years of age, so that would have been set some years ago. But Nick is showing he's in great shape still, and crossing the line there just on the 30-minute mark. But the women now going up that same hill. I don't think this is in any doubt here. Unless Caitlyn Adams has some serious problems, this is all her race in 2021, and she made the move a long way back. But here is the winner of the 2021 UTAS Burnie 10 for our females, and it is Caitlyn Adams from South Australia. Fantastic victory.
And look, on the conditions, 32-32, good. And they're all there from Queenslanders. They're all looking after. They've done very well. South Australians,
that's right, yeah.
South Australian guys there.
Yeah. In the light blue. They love the light blue,
they
clearly.
do.
But, side note, Gunnar, you were the... looking at all the shoes that the runners are wearing, and you see lots of those special alpha flies, next percenters. They all had to submit their shoes to you via paperwork about what they were going to be running, and you had to check them off under the World Athletics guidelines.
Yeah, it's getting more and more complex. But
So you call yourself a 1,500 metre runner, but you now won 2 of the biggest 10K road races in Australia in the last few months. Are you a 10K road runner yet?
Well, my coach is a marathon coach, Didic, so who knows, maybe I'll go from a 1,500 runner to out on the roads in the mara. So
the Burnie 10 started in 1985, and it's a who's who winners list. Steve Montighetti, Darren Wilson, Rob De Castella, Craig Mottram, Stuart McSwain, Collis Birmingham, Isaac Hayne.
Yeah, not sure I'm meant to be up with those names just yet. It's nice to be around that mark, but I think those guys have, gone on to bigger and better things, and there's the potential that to happen, but it hasn't happened yet. So I think we'll wait a bit before we lump me in with those names.
So we'll lock you in for the Hobart Run the Bridge on February 27 and see if you can do the treble in Tassie.
If you have me, yeah.
Anytime. Congratulations. Well done, Isaac Hayne. And we'll call up Caitlyn Adams as well while we're here, the female winner. What a run, what an upset. How are you feeling?
Feeling very overwhelmed at the moment, but that was just an incredible event. I think I just really drew that energy from the crowds, and actually having a mass participation race. I mean, in SA, we've been pretty fortunate to have plenty of races through COVID. It hasn't really affected us too much, but I just sort of missed travelling and getting to know the community and being here with all the other elite athletes. It was awesome.
And you had a nice little pack. You're obviously running with Izzy Bat-Doyle, who's in your hometown of Adelaide. Nathan Morey, who was chasing a bit of airtime as well in there. So you had a big group going all right. And then what was it that made you think, now's the time to go, which was around 8K?
Yeah, well, Izzy's such an incredible athlete, and she's done some amazing things this year. So yeah, I just sort of thought I want to hang on to the group for as long as I can. I actually felt pretty average in the first 5K. The pace was really hot, and I think that's because we had the tailwind and downhill, and then when we turned around, it was a little bit more, controlled, and with about 3K to go, I sort of felt really good, surprisingly, and then sort of made a move about 2Ks to go. I thought, if I'm going to do it, I'm feeling good now, I might as well just give it a crack and see how it turns out.
Were you running scared? Did you look over your shoulder?
That last K, I didn't know where anyone was. I felt a guy sort of come up behind me. I was a bit scared at that point, but I was